What's going on, y'all? My name is Dominion. This is Minion Training. Today we have a hip mobility video. You got tight hips, you're feeling sore, things not moving well. This is the video for you. Same rotation. We got 3 exercises, 3 sets. Follow up with me. Let's get started. So we're gonna start in a deep squat. All right. I always recommend to start standing and then get into a really deep squat. If you can't get into a deep squat by yourself, grab something to assist you, a chair, get by a wall. And you just want to allow your hips to open up here. So we're going to get started. We're going to allow our hips to open up. Now in this position, you really want to be taking big, deep, intentional breaths. You're going to find that your hip flexors, see mine are starting to sink in. You're going to feel some tension in the ankles. That's normal. We're going to just breathe. We're going to breathe, allow our hips to open up passively, subtly, not putting too much tension, just the tension from gravity. Good job. And let's release that. Okay. Nice job. 1 set already down. If you're new to my channel, look, we get right to it. We don't waste no games and everything's progressive, right? I want you to follow me as I'm guiding you through these exercises. But if things are too intense, take a pause the video, come out of it, right? You know your body, right? You know what it needs. I don't know your body, right? I don't know you, but you know me, right? So follow with me and be mindful of how your body is responding, okay? Second set. Let's get into it now. Second set. Breathe. Now we can start to add a little bit of mobility, right? So now we can start to sway. We can shift left to right. I don't want to allow you to lift your feet up just yet. We'll get to that. But just make some motions left and right very slowly. You can go forward a little bit. Go backwards. We have 5 major muscles. I know this is 10, but I mean 5. 5 major muscles in the hip flexors, right? So we're going to stretch them out in all its ranges of motion today, right? So moving side to side. Still taking those big breaths. And let's come out of it. Ooh, that's 2 sets. I know I'm already sweating. It's because I'm outside and it's really, really humid out here in Dallas, Texas. But throughout this video, maybe when we get to the second exercise, you're going to start sweating. All right. So this is beginner stuff, but like even me, this is stuff I do on a regular basis, right? Mobility is not something you do to alleviate the pain and you don't do it again. You have to keep it routine. It has to be part of your daily routine. That's why I enjoy making these quick 10 to 15 minute videos. Everybody has 10, 15 minutes to get it in and alleviate your body and do something productive, right? Last set, all right? Now we're gonna add a whole lot more motion. We're gonna involve some ankle mobility here. So I'm starting off in that deep squat. I usually put my hands in front of me and then I just lean into the knees. This is great for the knees, great for the ankles. Use your hands to control that tension, right? You want to breathe, open up those hips, breathe, be mindful. You got to be mindful, right? If you're starting to feel some pain, some excessive tension, right? Dial back. You have full control. But if it's feeling good, you can really lean into that knee, lean into each side to open up that patella and start to secrete that synovial fluid. Whew. You're like, what is synovial fluid? Synovial fluid is a fluid that's in the joints that make the joints malleable. That's 3 sets, right? Second exercise, we have our hip rotation. So I'm going to have you come on the side. I'm going to come on your butt. I'm facing the side. Come on your butt. I want you to rest on your elbows, right? But I don't want you to put tension on your shoulders. I don't want you to really use your shoulders to support you. I want you to use your core, right? I don't want so much excessive tension on the shoulders. I'm really squeezing my core because if I take my arms out, I should be relatively up, right? So I want to squeeze my core. I want to bring that knee to my chest, externally rotate it to the floor and slide it back to that neutral position. And then we'll alternate, right? We're getting started here. We have alternating hip rotations. This feels really, really good. Breathe. Make sure you're squeezing that core. Squeeze that core. Breathe. This should feel really good after the first few reps on those hips. Let's get about 2 more. Whew. Now, if you feel some popping in the hips, that's normal, right? I have some popping too, as long as it's not associated with excruciating pain, right? If it doesn't feel like Mike Tyson is going ham on your hips, you're fine. That's a natural movement. That's a natural response from a lot of people, right? That's just part of our physiology, all right? Second set. Let's get to it. Remember, squeeze that core. Squeeze that core. Let's start with the right leg. Whew. Breathe, breathe. It should get easier now, right? Because your hips are a little bit more loose. We open them up in the first exercise. Now the second exercise, we're adding some more mobility to them. Breathe, breathe. Nice and slow. Really try to get to the floor before you start coming back to that neutral position, right? I just don't want to come here and then, right? Really try to get to the floor and then bring it back to that starting position. Let's get one more. Squeeze that core. Oh, 2 sets now. All right. Look, look at that perspiration. This should be nice and easy, right? This shouldn't be too intensive. If this is too easy for you and your hips, your hip flexibility, hip mobility is just through the roof, I will make some more complex videos. Definitely check in to my Instagram, Minion Training, all our socials at Minion Training. There's definitely a whole lot more variability in movements and videos and complexities. But I like to make beginner stuff because even advanced people like Kobe Bryant always says, hey, stick to the basics, stick to the fundamentals, because even as you progress and advance, you don't want to lose these fundamentals because all those progressions are built off the fundamentals, right? All right, last set. And even for this last set here, we can introduce a new motion, right? We can go the opposite way. So now we can externally rotate out to the side and then bring it back to the chest and back to that starting position, right? So now we can add this other variability, right? It's still the same motion, just obviously an inverse, right? So I just wanted to add this here. And now if there's some pros watching this, now we can do 3 sets one way and 3 sets the other way. Now we've done 6 sets because you have more mobility, right? But if you're a more beginner and this is already a lot for you, you can just do one way, or maybe 2 sets one way and a 3rd set the other way, right? I'm still really squeezing my core, putting all that tension in the core, right? I don't want to be reliant on my shoulders. That's unnecessary tension right here. That's too much, right? This is what the core is for. Use these bad boys, right? And even if you don't visibly see them, they're still there, right? You still want to engage them. And this will help make them come out, right? This will help burn some of that belly fat by squeezing and engaging that core. Okay. Whew. That feels good. 3 sets now. Look how fast we're flying through this, guys. There's no excuse why you shouldn't be able to do a couple of these movements before your workouts, right? Before if you're working and you got some time, 10 minutes, free up your hips, right? A lot of studies have shown that people hold depression. People hold a lot of mental anguish in our hips, right? Our bodies and minds are intricately connected. It's not isolated things, right? Sometimes we have mental problems that manifest physically in lower back pain and muscle tightness. And sometimes we have physical trauma that manifests emotionally, that manifests mentally, right? So these are fundamental activities that you should be doing if you really want to optimize your life and you really want to be, moving throughout your day with energy, with vitality. All right, let me stop boring you. Third exercise, we have 90-90s, right? So they're self-explanatory. We want to start in 90 degrees, both legs. I'm going to start with my right knee behind the sole of my left foot. Right knee, left foot. My feet are not going to move. Imagine there's some glue underneath the side of the foot. I'm going to have my hands behind me, squeeze my core. I want my upper body vertical, right? Vertical. If you don't know what vertical is, go back to 10th grade geometry. Vertical. I don't want to be leaning. I want to be vertical. Then I'm just going to open up my knees to the right side. Oh, that feels so good. And now I'm on the other way. Now your left knee should be behind the sole of the right foot, right? See how that goes? And now we're just going to put it together nice and slow. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Breathe. 90-90s. Great job. Great job. Breathe. And nice job. Look, that's 1 set now. We got 2 more to go. Now, there's a lot of things we can do from this 90-90. Right? I think I will make the next video maybe will be progressions off 90-90. Right? So I'm going to start to drop in some advanced videos for some people. But obviously this is for beginners. This is for, hey, you don't know what you're doing. We need something quick but effective. 90-90s. Look, I'm a beginner, right? I think I'm a pro. I think I'm an advanced person. Slightly. I'm sure there's so many people better than me. Okay, let's start the second set while I ramble. But like I said about keeping up the fundamentals, right? So if I'm not able to at least do these, right? If I stop doing these and my hips get tight and I can't even do this motion, how am I supposed to build off of it, right? That's why I really, really emphasize always sticking to the fundamentals, always introducing time and making space to complete some of these fundamentals, right? So finishing up the second set, if you want to take off your hands, look, take off your hands. Now we can just use the core. Ooh, just the core. But again, don't allow the feet to move. Ooh, so much work on that core, right? Second set completed, so much work on that core where you take your hands off, right? And still having to maintain that vertical position in your spine. I don't want you to digress. I don't want you to lean back, right? Because now we're not utilizing those hips as much, right? We're touching the hips, right? But now our back is giving us, our back is giving us some breathing room, right? We don't want that. We want to keep our spine vertical. So we're forcing the hips to move. We want to force the hips to move our knees, right? On this last set, I will add in at the end another variability for you to be able to do, okay? So I'm finishing up this last set here on our hip rotation. Our 90-90s. We're still rotating, but these are not hip rotations. Previous ones were hip rotations. Names are so interchangeable these days. Okay, so I'm going to start to add in those variabilities, right? Try to keep that back vertical. So as I'm here, now I'm going to come up. Ooh, pants are down. I'm going to come up, right? But I want you guys, if you're going to do this variability, I want you to do it with no hands. Use the hips to come up, right? Nice and slow. Use the core to move and really engage those hips to come up, hips and glutes. Nice job. Look at that. 3 exercises, 3 sets, right? You need this. If you're having hip tightness, if you're having hip pain, you need this. If you're about to have a heavy squat day, right? You need to loosen up your hips. You cannot have tight hips and expect to have an optimal squat day, optimal leg day, right? Share this with a friend, share this with your colleague, share this with your gym bro, your gym gal. I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in more videos. Peace.